Well, welcome back to Cord Art. I haven't done a video for a little while. This is quite a small video. Well, hopefully it's going to be a small video. A group member in Paracord Off has asked me if I could actually make a palm tree. Now, a palm tree which is restricted to size. It mustn't be any more than 3.5 inches high, 3.5 to 4 inches high. And it's got to have a 3-inch diameter, no more than that. It's for some sort of scene that she's setting. I said that I will come up with the idea because I've got a feeling that the lady lives either in America or Australia. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Now, I've started this off by cutting 3 pieces of wire. What sort of wire is it? Let's see if I can find it. Just ordinary garden wire, which you can get from cheap shop. So I've got some of that. Cut three lots of 7-inch. Gutted some 2mm cord. I don't know if you can see the colour in this light, but that's like a beigey colour. Slipped the wire inside the 3 pieces of, well, obviously about 7¼ inches pieces of 2mm cord, and melted them over each end. Now, the idea is that we're going to have 1.5 inches. Just get the tape measure. Tape measure around the right way. 1.5 inches of, say, shall we say, root. So that will be the root. And then we'll have 3.5 inch up the shaft, which will be the trunk. So that part there is going to be 3.5 inches the trunk. And then we'll bend it over, and that's going to be the frond, or the frond, I think it's called. Going to do that with all 3 of these, like so. You have to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, not feeling great, but I thought it's raining outside, let's have a go at this project. So now we've got 3, hopefully bent the same way, more or less the same way. And then what I'm going to do is put these like so. And I'm going to tape them. I'm going to put a few bits of tape around them. And the idea then is to do a square knot. Well, I'll start off with a normal knot. I can't remember the name of the knot. Now it come to me in a minute. I'll say what knot it is in a minute. So there be the 3 roots, and then these will be the 3 fronds. So we're going to have a square knot going up the center, easy knot along the bottom. I want to say a dragon knot, but it'll come back to me in a minute. And then the fronds are going to be something different, and then we'll have probably 3 little coconuts, which will be stop nuts underneath. But I'll go to the next stage by getting these together, work out what sort of cord I'm going to put around them, and I'll come back to you. Cheers. Well, there we go. That's what I've come up with so far. That's, if we can keep it stood up. Yeah, there we go. Now that's 3.5 inches high, and okay, I've allowed for them to come down the fronds, and we've got a 3-inch diameter. Sticking out a little bit proud, but just about 3 inch, maybe 3.5 inch. But that's what I'm going to work with. I'm not quite sure what cord I'm going to put up it. It's a cobra. The easy knot that I was talking about along the roots is the cobra. Yeah. You can see why I said dragon, because it's a dragon cobra. But yeah, cobra along the bottom. That will give me two cords coming off of each root. That will give me 6 cords at the base of the trunk. Then I can do my square knot up the trunk to about here. Now whether I want to make it thicker at the bottom, because they are thicker at the bottom and then thinner at the top, or do I go thick, thin, thick? Now I can start off with the 6, which will make it thick. I can diminish the center part by putting 2 of the cords in with the core, lay them along the trunk if you like as the core, and carry on with 4, get up to the top, and then bring the other 2 that were going up the core into the trunk again and do a thicker top. I think that's what I'll try and do. I was thinking about putting this really fine cord, which is about 1mm, but I don't know. It's about size and sort of proportion really. I'll probably put some 2mm up there to see what it's like first, but I don't think I've got the right colour in 2mm, but I'll have a look and I'll come back to you. Well, I decided on this 2mm in the end. It's not the colour that I wanted, but it's a lightish brown. I wanted a sandy colour really, much similar to the colour that I put on the wire. But I'll make it with this. So let's get started. The 3 pieces that I've cut are 4 feet long. Whether that's going to be enough, I'm not quite sure. I can always add to it if I need to. As I say, this is a design. So what we're going to firstly do is put the fronds back up square like so they're out the way. Going to grab hold of one of our pieces of 4 feet and find the center, and then we're going to do a cobra along one of the roots here. See if we can do it without mucking it up, because the cable is the cord is quite long. So we just get a start on the bottom of that. Now it might be that I have to take this off and gut the cord because it doesn't look right. It might be too thick, but you don't know this until you're sort of halfway through the project. But there's many a time I've taken the project to bits. So there we go, that's the first knot on one of the, and I'll do the same on all 3 of these. I won't do it online, but so that we come into the middle. I'll do one more on there. Hopefully we can see that. Yeah, just a basic cobra really. Right, so that is going to be like the root, yeah, like that. So I'm going to carry along now to the base. I'm going to bring one in there and one in there, and then we'll end up with 6 cords at the base to go up the trunk. Come back to you in a minute. So we've come along there with the cobra, along there with the cobra, and I'm just coming down here with this cobra here, and then we'll be going up the trunk, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing up the trunk. Sounds a bit rude, but up the trunk, yeah. Right, another one, I think, at least one more to get the. Of course, this is all trial and error. The thing that will ruin it is perspective, dimensions and perspective, but hopefully I've got it about right. So there we go. We've got the 3 roots covered now, and we've ended up with 6 cords. 2, 4, 6. And then what we're going to do is a square knot up here. So if we look at it from the top, just bend those over a bit out the way so they're not causing any problems. If we go over with that one, over with that one, over with that one, over with that one, and over, and then the last one we're going to pop down through there. Hopefully that should work out. Bring in all the slack. Like so. I mean, this isn't going to be any good for anything else but rather than the scene in the desert, but I don't know, it's worth a go. Now, the problem we might face here is that we've got 6 chords on the go and the core isn't thick enough. I'll find out in a minute. If it's not thick enough, there's no problem, because what we can actually do is pad out the core with some masking tape. So we'd wrap it round and round and round so that the core looks reasonable. But it's all down to whether, when we tighten all these chords, it looks reasonable. There's one there that doesn't look reasonable. What is that one doing there? Is it that one? Or this one? No, it's not that one. How strange. I think I might have gone wrong on my square knot. Oh no, I haven't. There it is. This is exactly the point I was trying to make, that the core might not be big enough. Bring them all in tight. And whoever, people who've done square knots know that you can actually go on forever doing this. That's it. And somewhere around here we'd be able to make our mind up whether the core is thick enough. I don't want it too thick because I want the trunk to be quite slender. But then again, I'll do a couple of these square knots up the shaft here, up the trunk, and I'll come back to you. If it's looking good, then I'll leave it as it is. If it's not looking good, then I'm going to think about sort of expanding this trunk a little bit with tape. Come back to you. So I've gone a square knot with these 6 chords 4 times. Can you see that there? 4 times up the shaft. I don't want. I could actually go right to the top there, except for the last 1.5 inches at that. But I want to diminish it slightly. So what I'm going to do is diminish 2. I'm not going to do them both at the same time. I'm going to take 2 opposites to each other and take one of them and wrap it around the top. Just loop it so that it's out of the way, and we'll bend that over there like so. So we're working with 5 now rather than 6. The 6th one is going up this shaft here, yeah? So we've diminished. I'd probably do a couple of these knots, this square knot. And I didn't have to put any tape around the shaft. I can actually get it tight enough. And obviously by diminishing, it's going to be even tighter. So let's just do one more knot like so. So we got the 5, make sure that I got all 5, yeah I did. And then we go through, tighten this one up. Like so. By doing it this way, I can always bring this cord back into the fold, so to speak, in a while, which I probably will do at the very top. Get that nice and tight. Tighter the better, really. I mean, you could cheat a little bit. You could get it really tight, touch of super glue, but I've not needed that so far. So 5 there. We're going to do another one with 5. Like so. Bring that in tight. Like so. I mean, off screen I'd probably get these tighter. I'd play around with them longer. So we've got one going up now. It doesn't really matter which one, but we come opposite. So we're going to take this one up now. Going to unfold those. Take this one around. Loop it. Keep it out the way. Bend those fronds down, and then we can actually continue with 4. Obviously the core is slightly bigger in the centre, but it shouldn't make all that much difference. Right. So now we're down to what people normally crown, which is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 down through the first hole. Now I'm going to carry on doing 4 up to about, well, having in mind our fronds have got to be 1.5 inches long. I'll measure in 1.5 inches and I'll take this just short, say 1/2 inch short of where the fronds, I think it's where I took the tape to, but 1/2 inch short. Then I'm going to bring these 2 back in so that the trunk goes thick, thin and slightly thicker at the top. Yeah, that's the idea anyway. Right, so we're back down to 4 chords at the moment. I'll leave it at that and I'll come up to where I'm going to actually increase again. Okay. Right, I've made an executive decision on what I'm going to do next. I'm halfway up the shaft and I'm only using 4 chords. Now, as I said in the beginning, it's about perspective. Now, I wanted to have it thick, thinner, thick, but because of how small it's going to be, i.e. 3.5 inches high, and because Sue, the woman who actually asked me to make it, said she didn't want it too complicated, I'm just going to finish the trunk off with those 4. I don't need the extra bulge at the top. It's just me being sort of clever, if you like. So what we're going to do is, at this point in time, we're going to undo these loose chords and we're going to get rid of them. As I say, if we was making a taller tree, then yeah, I would probably stick with my idea of, oh dear. I don't think you've got sound for the last half an hour, but there you go. Should be back now. Yeah, I'll just repeat what I said there. I've made a decision that I don't want to bulge it at the top. I've got it bulging down the bottom. I've got 4 chords on here going up. Hopefully I haven't got to redo any of this video because of the sound, but it might be that you can actually catch on. So I'm undoing these. I'm going to make them 2 different sizes. I'm going to cut off one about yay and one just a little bit longer. We'll just finish those off, melt them, and tighten that one, and then they can go up the shaft like that. Now I'm going to find out where my 1.5 inches is on each fond. Should be something like that. Grab hold of my tape measure. Yeah, I do apologise for losing the sound. You might have had it just slight sound or something earlier on. That's 2.5. That's not right. Needs to be 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches is about there. There. So I'll be coming up to here with my square knot with 4 cords. When I get to here, I'll come back to you. Okay. Well, that started and looked like a tree a bit. You know, it's got a nice little bendy trunk there. Bend it around whichever way you want it. I've come to the last square knot that I want to do, or crown knot. Going to put the fronds back up again, because what we're going to do is a wall knot. So we're going to go over and crown it again for the last time, and down through. Yeah. Bring them in sort of loose like so. And then the idea is each one of these goes up through a loop next to this one. This one will go up through there. That one will go up through there. So he goes up through there, keeping him nice and upward. That one goes up through there. This one goes up through there. And this one's a little bit complicated because you have to make sure he goes through there. That then gives us all the cords going upwards. Obviously you've got to tighten it up, which isn't as easy as just a crown knot. But I'm going to tighten that up and I'll come back to you because it's a bit fiddly. Yeah. There. Tightened up. Looks quite, yeah, still got my mic on. Tightened up, it looks quite neat. So what we're going to do then is bend the 3 fronds out of the way. Now that we've got those cords going up through the walnut, we can cut them off. If I was really clever, I could have turned those, made them longer and turned them into the actual coconuts, but a little bit too much thought for me today. Not feeling too good, so we'll leave it at that. Right, so now we got, oh, didn't cut them all off. Cut that one off as well. Bit of heat. Yeah. Right. So we're winning. All we've got to do now is come up with an idea for the fronds. Yeah. Like so. And I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee and come back to this, but it'll be instantaneous for you. Something like that. Oops. So that's the hardest bit done, or is it? I've got an idea for the fronds, all the leaves, shall we say, because I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing it properly. Yeah. Obviously they're going to be green, and they're going to be made out of 2mm cord, but there's a process that I've done before on a mermaid's tail, believe it or not, and I'm hoping that it's going to work. Join me again shortly after I've had my cup of coffee. Hi there, nice cup of coffee I had. I've designed this. I want this to be the fronds or the leaves to my tree. This is just a practice piece. So what I've actually done is obviously emulated the piece of wire in the cord, and then I've just got hold of some of this green, 2mm green, done a cow's hitch alternating along the shaft, and then I've just brushed them out, yeah, like so. I've obviously sort of started off short. There could have been another short one there, got slightly bigger and then smaller, and then just trimmed around it. Yeah, this is bigger than the one that's going to be on there. So now what I've got to actually do, I'll where's that piece of green gone? Lost it. Ah, here it is. So yeah, just as a demo now, the cow's hitch, you want the piece of cord on top, so that's facing that way on that one. So this one, what we'll do is we'll put it under, because if you put it over you won't get the piece of cord on top. So we'll put it under, put those two through it. There's one, two, fiddly with hands my size. So look, there's the cow's hitch going the opposite way this time, not that way, it's going this way. And what I've been doing is pulling them tight, tiny little touch of super glue around the back of the knot just to stop it moving when we're combing it out. So that's that. This is gutted cord obviously, yeah. Bring it down like so, bit of a board, and then I'll use the comb, my little animal comb first, just to brush it out like so. Then this one, and there you go. And then just shape it round with the scissors. I think that's going to be just about right. I mean, I can twist it as well. So if I was outside the proportions that Sue wanted, you could actually bring it back in like that. Yeah. So I'm going to get hold of my green cord, gut a load of it, do lots of what I've just showed you on here, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, hopefully that will look something like a palm tree then, and then there'll just be the coconuts to put on underneath. Speak to you soon. Well, welcome back. Here's the finished article, coconuts and all. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, the dimensions are spot on. The fronds or the leaves look a little bit sort of palmified. The trunk looks palmified. Don't get sort of tied up with, 6 chords to 4 chords like I was going on before. Just put the 6 chords all the way up there. It won't make any difference. Or you can diminish them if you wish. I'm quite pleased with the outcome. Now, the way that I've got this to actually stay as it is, you can see that not only, if we go back to this one which I made, these are all fluffy, these aren't. The reason being is once I'd brushed these ones out to like that, I then coated them with PVA glue, just a smearing over each side, and then you can finish off your cutting, and I think it comes out just about right. So this is mainly for Sue. I'm hopeful that I haven't got too technical, Sue. Basically, I mean, all you've got is 3 cobras at the bottom, a crown knot going up the top, some sort of cow's hitches around these arms, and 3 stop knots for coconuts. So with that, I'm going to say best of luck if you want to do a palm knot, but I'm quite happy with this one. Speak to you later. Bye bye from Cord Art.